Chapter 1, The End of the World, Meta-Quantum Remix, Part 1, The Glitch. Bartleby Bart Higgins, a man whose life was a symphony of beige mediocrity, was about to experience a Tuesday that would shatter the illusion of reality and plunge him headfirst into a cosmic kaleidoscope of mind-bending weirdness. It wasn't just the soul-crushing monotony of his data entry job. From the chaos of the inky void, a phrase drifted through his mind, unbidden, like a stray verse from a forgotten poem. Nor was it the fluorescent lights that hummed with the frequency of existential despair, or the lingering taste of regret from last night's questionable hot dog casserole. It was a Tuesday pregnant with a sense of wrongness, a glitch in the matrix, a cosmic burp that echoed through the very fabric of his being. His computer screen, normally a portal to the mind-numbing depths of spreadsheets and corporate emails, flickered and distorted, momentarily displaying a scene of surreal beauty. A field of iridescent flowers swaying in a gentle breeze under a sky painted with swirling nebulas. Bart blinked and the vision vanished, leaving behind the stark reality of his beige cubicle prison. "Must be those cheap energy drinks," he muttered, his voice a distant echo in the cavernous expanse of his skull. But a seed of doubt had been planted, a tiny crack in the facade of his ordinary reality. Or was it? A voice whispered in the back of his mind, a voice that sounded suspiciously like his own, yet somehow different. He tried to refocus on his work, a Sisyphean task of inputting data into an endless digital void. But his mind kept rebelling, drawn to the strange sensation that the world was tilting on its axis, that the laws of physics were taking an extended coffee break. Suddenly, the office around him seemed to breathe, the walls expanding and contracting like a giant lung. The ceiling tiles rippled and danced, forming fleeting patterns that hinted at hidden dimensions. Bart felt a wave of dizziness, a sense of vertigo, as if the ground beneath his feet had dissolved into a swirling vortex. He gripped the edge of his desk, his knuckles white, his breath catching in his throat. "Okay," he stammered, his voice a shaky vibrato in the symphony of his mounting anxiety. "This is officially beyond weird." He had a feeling this was more than just a bad case of the Tuesdays. This was the universe sending him a message, a cosmic telegram written in the language of quantum anomalies and office-related disturbances, and he had a feeling he was about to become a very reluctant recipient. Part 2. Quantum Foam. Bart's perception of reality fractured, the familiar office environment dissolving into a chaotic tapestry of fragmented images and distorted sounds. He found himself adrift in a sea of quantum foam, the primordial soup of the universe, where particles blinked in and out of existence like mischievous sprites. He witnessed the birth and death of stars, their incandescent lives flashing before his eyes like a cosmic slideshow, where stars ignite and stories unfold. The phrase echoed in his mind again, a haunting refrain with no discernible source. Galaxies collided in a silent symphony of light and energy, their spiral arms intertwining in a celestial ballet choreographed by an unseen hand. Subatomic particles danced and shimmered, their movements a mesmerizing ballet of creation and annihilation. Time became a fluid concept, a river flowing in all directions at once. The past, present, and future intertwined, their boundaries blurring like watercolors on a wet canvas. Bart felt a strange sense of connection to the universe, a profound understanding of its underlying unity, a glimpse behind the veil of everyday perception. But who was holding the brush? A voice whispered in his ear, a voice that seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the cosmos. Who was painting this grand masterpiece of reality? And then, as abruptly as it began, the quantum chaos subsided, and Bart found himself back in his office, the familiar surroundings now imbued with an alien glow. The clock had stopped, its hands frozen at 10:32, a stark reminder of the moment reality had taken a detour into the Twilight Zone. He stared at the clock, his mind still reeling from the cosmic roller coaster ride. He had glimpsed the raw fabric of the universe, the quantum dance of existence. He had touched the face of infinity and felt the pulse of eternity. And all he could think was, "I really need a coffee." Part 3. Soggy Cereal. Bart stumbled towards the office kitchen, his legs feeling like overcooked spaghetti, his mind a whirlwind of cosmic revelations and mundane anxieties. He fumbled with the coffee machine, his hands shaking, his thoughts a jumble of quantum physics and breakfast-related concerns. As he poured the steaming liquid into his world's best boss mug, a replacement for the one that had met an untimely demise earlier, he noticed a strange distortion in the reflection on the mug's surface. His face appeared elongated, stretched out like a funhouse mirror reflection, his features morphing into a Picasso-esque abstraction. He blinked, and the distortion vanished. But the unease remained, a lingering sense that the universe was playing a cosmic prank on him, a game of reality twister, with his perception as the playing board. He took a sip of his coffee, but it tasted off, like burnt toast and existential dread. He glanced at the cereal box on the counter, its cheerful cartoon mascot now sporting a disturbingly knowing grin. "Enjoy your breakfast, Bart," a voice seemed to emanate from the cereal box, a voice that sounded eerily familiar, yet infinitely vast. The cereal itself seemed to be pulsating and vibrating in the bowl, defying the laws of physics and breakfast etiquette. "Okay," he muttered, his voice a shaky vibrato in the symphony of his mounting anxiety. "This is officially beyond weird." He had a feeling this was more than just a bad case of the Tuesdays. This was the universe sending him a message, a cosmic telegram written in the language of quantum anomalies and breakfast-related disturbances. And he had a feeling he was about to become a very reluctant recipient. But what he didn't realize was that the sender of this cosmic telegram was closer than he thought, observing his every move, weaving his reality with every stroke of the keyboard. A symphony of words, eternally free. The phrase echoed in his mind, a tantalizing fragment of a hidden meaning. Chapter 2, Postapocalyptic Brunch, with a side of quantum entanglement and meta-narrative mayhem. Part 1, the déjà vu of a quantum apocalypse. Bart stumbled through the rubble-strewn streets, the remnants of a world that had abruptly decided to defy the laws of physics and common sense. Buildings leaned at impossible angles, their shadows stretching long and distorted in the eerie silence. The air crackled with a residual energy, a faint hum that vibrated through his bones. A strange sense of déjà vu washed over him, a nagging feeling that he had walked this path before, seen these twisted buildings, felt this unsettling hum. He shook his head, trying to dispel the sensation, but it lingered, a persistent echo in the corridors of his mind. A gust of wind swirled around him, carrying with it the scent of burnt toast and something else. Something indefinable, like the faintest whisper of another dimension brushing against his senses. He shivered, pulling his tattered jacket tighter around him. Suddenly, a clock materialized in front of him, hovering in mid-air. Its hands spun wildly, then reversed, then stopped altogether, frozen at a nonsensical time. Bart stared at it, his mind reeling. Was it a hallucination, a side effect of the quantum chaos, or something more deliberate? He reached out to touch the clock, but it vanished before his fingers could make contact, leaving behind a faint shimmer in the air. He blinked, his heart pounding. Was he losing his mind? Or was the universe playing a cosmic game of hide-and-seek with his sanity? A rainstorm erupted, but instead of falling down, the raindrops ascended towards the sky, defying gravity with gleeful abandon. Bart watched in bewildered fascination, his sense of reality dissolving like a sugar cube in a cup of quantum tea. He felt a tap on his shoulder and turned to see a woman with piercing blue eyes and a knowing smile. "You seem lost," she said, her voice a melodic counterpoint to the chaotic symphony of his thoughts. "Perhaps I can help you find your way." Bart stared at her, a mixture of confusion and curiosity swirling within him. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "A guide," she replied, her smile widening. "A fellow traveler on this winding path of existence." He felt a strange pull towards her, a sense of recognition that transcended the boundaries of time and space. He had a feeling she held the key to unlocking the mysteries of this fractured reality. Part 2, Pancakes and Paradoxes. The woman led Bart to a pancake diner, a beacon of normalcy in the surreal landscape. Inside, a group of survivors huddled around tables, their faces etched with a mixture of bewilderment and resignation. Bart recognized a Penelope Quantum, her fiery red hair a beacon in the dimly lit diner. She was engaged in a heated debate with a man with a handlebar mustache and a tinfoil hat, their voices rising and falling in a symphony of scientific jargon and conspiracy theories. "The universe is a multi-dimensional breakfast buffet," Dr. Quantum declared, her eyes sparkling with fervent conviction. The donut apocalypse was merely a cosmic indigestion, a disruption in the delicate balance of breakfast and lunch items. The man with the tinfoil hat scoffed. "Nonsense. It's the government. They're controlling our minds with subliminal messages hidden in pancake syrup." Bart took a seat at the counter, his head spinning. He ordered a stack of pancakes, hoping the comforting taste of maple syrup would ground him in some semblance of reality. As he ate, he noticed the flickering fluorescent lights above the counter were morphing into strange symbols, hieroglyphs that seemed to writhe and dance in the air. He blinked, and the symbols vanished, replaced by the familiar hum of electricity. Dr. Quantum approached him, her eyes alight with excitement. "Did you see that?" she whispered. "Those symbols. They're a message from beyond our dimension." Bart felt a chill run down his spine. Was he going mad? Or was he witnessing a communication from the author, the architect of this bizarre reality? Part 3. The Cosmic Coffee Bean and the Quest for Truth. Dr. Quantum explained her theory that the universe was not just a breakfast buffet, but a multidimensional library, a repository of infinite knowledge and stories. The author, she believed, was a higher dimensional librarian, weaving narratives and manipulating realities with every stroke of their keyboard. "We need to find the cosmic coffee bean," she declared, her voice filled with urgency. "It's the key to unlocking the author's intentions, to understanding the true nature of our reality." Bart stared at her, his mind reeling. Was she serious? A cosmic coffee bean? He had a feeling this quest was going to be a lot stranger than he initially anticipated. But as he looked around the diner, at the survivors huddled together, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty, he realized he had a choice to make. He could succumb to the chaos, surrender to the absurdity of his situation, or he could embrace the unknown, embark on this bizarre quest, and seek answers to the question that now burned within him. He took a deep breath, a newfound determination solidifying within him. "I'm in," he said, his voice firm. "Let's find that coffee bean and unravel this cosmic mystery." He had a feeling this was just the beginning of a journey that would take him beyond the boundaries of his imagination, beyond the confines of his reality, and ultimately beyond himself. Bart followed Dr. Quantum through the rubble-strewn streets, the remnants of a world that had seemingly decided to play a cosmic game of Jenga, with disastrous results. Buildings teetered precariously, their facades cracked and crumbling like stale biscuits. Cars were twisted into grotesque sculptures, their metal carcasses resembling abstract art installations. The air hummed with a strange energy, a symphony of quantum dissonance that vibrated through Bart's very being. "My heart expands, a universe untold." The words echoed in his mind, a fragment of a poem with no discernible source, a whisper from the depths of his subconscious. As they navigated the debris-strewn landscape, a squirrel darted across their path, its fur glowing an unnatural shade of neon green. It paused, its beady eyes fixed on Bart, then let out a series of high-pitched squeaks that sounded suspiciously like Morse code. "Fascinating," Dr. Quantum exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with scientific curiosity. "It appears the quantum entanglement has affected the local fauna. This squirrel seems to be exhibiting signs of heightened intelligence and a possible caffeine addiction." The squirrel scurried up a nearby tree, its glowing fur leaving a trail of shimmering particles in its wake. Bart watched it go, a sense of unease settling over him. Was this the new normal? A world where squirrels spoke in Morse code and buildings played hopscotch with the laws of physics? "Don't worry," Dr. Quantum reassured him, sensing his apprehension. "It's just the universe adjusting to its new parameters. Think of it as a cosmic reboot, a chance to rewrite the rules of reality." Bart wasn't sure he liked the sound of that. He preferred his reality with a bit more predictability, a bit less quantum weirdness. But he had a feeling he didn't have much choice in the matter. They continued their journey, their footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. Bart couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that their every move was being observed, their every thought scrutinized. To the author's hand that guides my fate. Another line from the phantom poem surfaced in his mind, its meaning as elusive as the source of the anomalies surrounding him. Part 2. The fellowship assembles. They reached a clearing where a group of survivors had gathered around a makeshift campfire. A woman with vibrant purple hair was sketching the distorted landscape, her charcoal strokes capturing the surreal beauty of the quantum chaos. A man with a thick beard and a gentle demeanor was tending to a small garden, coaxing life from the scorched earth. "Welcome, fellow travelers," the bearded man greeted them. His voice warm and inviting. "We are the Fellowship of the Glitch, united by the shared experience of this unique reality." The woman with purple hair introduced herself as Nyx, the artist. "I find beauty in the chaos," she declared, her eyes sparkling with creative fire. "The universe is a canvas, and the apocalypse is our masterpiece." Bart couldn't help but admire her optimism, her ability to find meaning in the midst of such upheaval. He introduced himself and Dr. Quantum, and they were welcomed into the fellowship. As they sat around the campfire, sharing stories and meager rations, a small metallic sphere materialized in the center of the group. It hovered silently, emitting a soft glow that pulsed in rhythm with Bart's heartbeat. "What is it?" Bart asked, his voice filled with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. "I believe it's a communication device," Dr. Quantum replied, her eyes fixed on the pulsating sphere. "A message from the author, perhaps?" The sphere emitted a series of beeps and clicks, a language that was both alien and strangely familiar. Bart felt a pull towards it, an inexplicable urge to touch its smooth surface. Part 3, the quest begins. As Bart reached out, the sphere projected a holographic image of a coffee bean, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly light. "The cosmic coffee bean," Dr. Quantum whispered, her voice filled with awe. It's real." The image vanished, and the sphere rolled towards Bart, nudging his hand. He picked it up, its metallic surface cool against his palm. "It's guiding us," he realized, his voice filled with wonder. The sphere began to roll, leading them towards the edge of the clearing. Bart and Dr. Quantum exchanged a glance, a silent understanding passing between them. They were embarking on a quest, a journey into the unknown, guided by a mysterious artifact and the unseen hand of the author. As they followed the sphere into the distorted landscape, Bart couldn't shake the feeling that they were pawns in a cosmic game, their every move orchestrated by a higher power. But he also felt a sense of purpose, a newfound determination to unravel the mysteries of this reality and discover the truth behind the apocalypse. To the reader's eye, that gives me weight. The fragmented poem echoed in his mind, its meaning still elusive, but its presence a constant reminder of the hidden depths within this unfolding narrative.